Rockstar families, and welcome to our weekly VODCAST for the week of February 24th, 2014. I really hope that you're enjoying all of this beautiful weather outside. It's kind of a tease looking at the forecast for the rest of the week, but I hope you're able to enjoy it while it lasts. I have a bunch of different announcements that I want to pass along, and then I'm going to move you to the strategy session of the VODCAST for the week. First of all, this week, we have an early out on Wednesday. It's for elementary students only, so at 1:10 p.m. students will be released on Wednesday. That is February 26th. Another quick reminder I have for you is last week students came home with an order form for the 2014 graduating class shirt. You know, all of the students signed their name inside of 2014, and it will be on the front of that shirt. Each shirt is $8.95, and the order forms are due on Friday. If you're writing out a check, you can write it out to KWBESPTO. Reminder, those are due on Friday. If you need another form, just please let me know. Next, our interims were supposed to come home on Friday, but seeing as much school as we missed and the fact that report cards just came out, the district has now extended that date to March 7th. So interims will come home next Friday on March 7th, and you're going to find, once again, an academic interim and a Barrett Academy interim report. So those will be coming home next Friday, not this Friday as originally scheduled. The Dare basketball fundraiser, where the whole county participates in the basketball game. You can come and cheer on teachers and put your tickets in for different baskets. And it helps to raise money for the DARE program for future classes for next year. That is on Friday, December 14th. I'll be sending home more information about that as soon as we get that from Deputy Scoggins. So just keep that on your calendar. That is March 14th. Our writing SOL is scheduled for March 18th and 20th, so try not to have any appointments scheduled for that day. Obviously, I totally understand if someone gets sick during one of those days and can't make it to school, but please, please, please try to have your rock star come to school on those days. It's very important. I'm so excited to see how well they do. I know they're going to blow it out of the water. But March 18th and March 20th, those dates are approaching so quickly, I cannot believe it. The Literacy Explosion is on March 15th at Mountain View High School. I'll be sending home more information for the students who have signed up. If your child is still able to make it and you did not sign them up, please let me know, and I can still sign them up for that. Our next Barrett Academy Family Night is scheduled for March 20th, which is a Thursday night. That will actually be the night of our final SOL day there, so we'll kind of maybe have a little bit of a celebration to celebrate our great progress with that. And one final announcement, if you still have any old trophies or awards or anything like that that you're willing to part with, I could greatly use those for the Grammys. I've had so many come in so far. The Grammys were pushed back a couple of days to next Monday, March 3rd, due to the snow. So if you still have those trophies or anything like that, and you're willing to part with them, send them in with your Rockstar. I will greatly appreciate them. The Rockstars are working so hard on the Grammys, and I cannot wait to see their finished albums. So make sure you ask them about that, see how they're doing with it. This was really the first time I gave them an assignment in which I didn't give them a timeline, saying you need to have this done by now and this done by there. I really want them to try to work on that time management themselves. So this was kind of the first assignment where they were kind of on their own in terms of making sure that their progress was on a roll. Finally, our rock star of the week was Peyton Rooney. Peyton displayed amazing leadership during our academy time on Friday when talking with other students in the Red House. So she is the rock star of the week. Congratulations to Peyton. Now I'm going to send you guys over to the strategy session. Let me know, is it too much, too little? Is it working for you? Are you using it at home? I would greatly appreciate all of that feedback. I will see you guys on the other end. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar families and students, so I'm going to start you off today with a little bit of practice in reviewing quadrilaterals. We're really going to try to get down this vocabulary this week. We'll have a short little assessment on Wednesday, and we'll move on to perimeter and area on Thursday. So right now on the screen in front of you, and let me actually kind of move this up a little bit so you can see everything. I have 4 different quadrilaterals. Now, keep in mind that a quadrilateral is any closed figure, any polygon that has 4 sides. Okay, so here you see each of these has 4 sides. Now, in class, we played a game called Claim Your Shape, and we're going to play it probably one more time this week. And the idea of this game was for the students to go on the carpet to where the shape was, stand in it, and claim that shape. And in order for them to claim that shape, they had to list all of the attributes about that shape. So a really great way to practice identifying quadrilaterals and mixing in all of that vocabulary would just be to look at some quadrilaterals in the home or right here on the screen and practice identifying them. So if your rock star would like 1 house point per quadrilateral, I'm going to name this quadrilateral A, this is quadrilateral B, this is quadrilateral C, and this is quadrilateral D. If they list all of the attributes about each of these quadrilaterals, then they can get 1 house point per. So they could get 4 house points here. So let me give you a quick example of what exactly I mean. I'm going to switch my ink to a different color really quickly. Let's go with red. Now, if I analyze this quadrilateral right here, a couple things that I automatically notice are that these sides are kind of tilted in a way that if I would extend them, imagine that this line came the whole way up here, and imagine that this line over here, let me just get my scribbler back, there we go, came the whole way up here. What's going to happen to those lines once they come way up here? Yes, they're going to intersect, right? So they're not parallel. Parallel lines are kind of like railroad tracks. They're never going to cross, so check that out. That would be parallel. These lines are not parallel. Now this side and this side are parallel. These opposite sides are parallel. So what I know is that this figure has one set of parallel lines. And here you can see I put this arrow to indicate this one arrow and this one arrow. These are matches. These are parallel. So what figure do I know of has one set of parallel lines? Well, that would be a trapezoid. So I would classify this figure as a trapezoid. Let me write this in here really quickly. Now, what the rock stars need to do if they would like 1 house point per problem is I'm asking them to actually write down each of the attributes. So what I would write down under trapezoid is that it has one set of parallel lines, it has 4 sides, it's a quadrilateral, and the opposite sides are not parallel. One pair of opposite sides are not parallel. So they need to write down the characteristics of each of these, okay? So this one I've already partially done. You just have to record it. Now I want you to look at these 3 rock stars and try to classify them as well. So you may want to pause the screen right here. And what I'm going to do is now take you over to our Kate Waller-Barrett website, to Mr. Riker's Rock Stars Fusion page. Reminder, just go up to Best Classes and 5th grade. I'll show you really quickly how to navigate this in case you need a little refresher. Mr. Riker's Rock Stars, here we are. A couple of things you'll find on here if you scroll down to the class news section that I put up today. The Plain Figures Khan Academy video is still there from last week that kind of refreshes all of those quadrilaterals that I just talked about in the last clip there. But there are 2 new sites that I would like rock stars to visit today, and they can actually get some house points if they do spend some time visiting these. The first one is called Classifying Quadrilaterals, and the cool thing about this website is that it actually allows the rock star to look at this. Okay, so is this shape a square? Well, what they have to do is they have to think, is this a square? Well, no, a square has 4 sides that are congruent, the same size, same shape, and it has 4 right angles. So this is not a square. I hit submit, great job. Now, the cool thing, that was a pretty easy one. That was warming up. The cool thing about questions like this is the fact that they have to describe that shape in every way possible. So this kind of mimics the math SOL in that they have to choose multiple answers. So there's my figure right there in green. I have to say, is this a rectangle? Well, no, it's not a rectangle because a rectangle has to have 4 right angles. Is it a square? No, because a square has to have 4 right angles. Is it a quadrilateral? Yes, because it has 4 sides. Is it a rhombus? Are those 4 sides congruent? Well, these sides appear to be longer than this, so I think the only thing that this is would include a quadrilateral. And they can go through here, and this will continue to develop that vocabulary. The goal this week with geometry is for the rock stars to really just become extremely fluent in talking about all of these different figures we'll be looking at: triangles, quadrilaterals, and beyond, pentagons, hexagons, etc. So if they can become fluent, these programs here will actually help them. If you just sign a sheet saying that they went through these problems, they'll get 2 additional house points there. Now, what I actually want to do is take us back to Mr. Riker's Rockstar fusion page. And there's one other area which is amazing practice for determining angle measure in quadrilateral. So if you look right here, what we talked about last week in class was, if I say that I have a four-sided figure, it looks a little something like this. Okay. Well, what we actually did last week was we divided this into triangles. So, and obviously my line's not totally straight, but here's one triangle, here's another triangle. And we know that every triangle has a total measure of 180 degrees if we're adding together the three angles. So we took 180, one triangle, and took the other triangle 180, and realized that every quadrilateral has a total of 360 degrees. Those interior angles are 360 degrees. So one of the 5th grade standards is actually for students to be able to look at a quadrilateral given different angle measures and determine unknown angle measures. Okay, so this kind of here explains exactly what I just was talking about. And if the student comes down to this area to practice and they hit start, they're going to be given angle measures for 3 sides of a quadrilateral. Okay, so the thing that I've been telling the rock stars is to actually draw out what that quadrilateral might look like. So if I have angle A is 90 and angle B is 90, well, I know a 90-degree angle looks like that square. Now, if I have another angle that is 123 degrees, then the rock star would have to draw that in. And the idea is we need to determine what is angle D. Well, what we talked about in class is the fact that a quadrilateral, these 4 angles, including angle D, have to add together to equal 360 degrees. Okay, so if they have to add together to equal 360 degrees, we talked about, well, we can add these 3 measures together and subtract this sum from 360, and we'll find our angle measure. So what the rock stars can actually do is look here at the 3 angle measures, enter in a measure for angle D, and it'll tell them if they got it correct. Okay, and they'll give them kind of a percentage, and they can report the totals. For every single one that the rock stars do here, attempt, they'll get 1/4 of a house point. Okay, so if you do 4, you'll get 1 house point. So rock stars, just try this out. This is a great way to practice that angle measure with quadrilaterals, which is going to be very important over the next couple of days as well. Now I'm going to take you back over to this page. That concludes our math section. A couple of other areas that I'd like to point you toward. Number 1, the students' Grammarys are due on Friday, and our ceremony is on next Monday, March 3rd. We're going to go all out, just like the Grammys. We'll have the red carpet and tablecloths, and it'll be fancy, and we'll have the awards. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm so proud of how much effort the rock stars have been putting into the Grammarys. Can't wait to see the end product. We'll have a panel of judges review their work. Now, in writing, I have a new prompt for the week. People often help one another. Write to explain how you or someone helps others. So if you can practice different areas of writing. The rock stars know areas that they would like to work on. I also gave a lot of feedback on the report card of individual areas that I would like each student to continue to grow over the 3rd quarter, or you can use my suggestions that I've supplied here. If you bring this in, the student can get 5 house points for completing this. Okay. And one final thing, by the end of day on Wednesday, I'm going to put up a social studies review video. Our test is actually on Wednesday. And the area I would say to really work on studying right now is this SOL pass. Remember, the password is Tigers1, and if we go to the Revolution section, it provides amazing areas that the students can work on. Number 1, it gives a study guide. Okay, it poses questions. It doesn't just have loads of facts. It poses some pretty amazing questions and really helps them to see the events that they need to work on. Okay, so let me go back from that very quickly. A couple of other areas under the Revolution tab include passages, games, crossword puzzles, just getting them to use, once again, that vocabulary to get an understanding. Now, what I would do to study for this assessment, and I'm going to show the students in the study video tomorrow, is to basically tell the story, because it's a chronological story. It's in sequence. What was the first thing that happened that started the whole cause of this American Revolution? Well, it was really the French and Indian War and the Proclamation Act of 1763. And ask your rock star to explain each of those things. Tomorrow in class, students will be taking 4 of the major events from the Revolution and creating a comic strip. So it could be things just like that. Things to kind of boggle their mind about each of the events of the Revolution. You know, we talked about the major events that led up to the Revolution, the major battles, and we also talked about major people from the Revolution, which is another important area to focus on. So our assessment in social studies will be on Wednesday. Tomorrow students will be reviewing, and the study video will be available by the end of day on Wednesday. Now, one other area I just want to quickly point you toward. If you come on up here, you'll see the link to our Barrett Academy blog. We're keeping this updated on a regular basis. As I told you earlier, our family night is scheduled for March 20th. Hope you all can make it. We'll be sending out papers very soon, and this kind of just chronicles our journey so far, and it's just a really great source to use, and I hope that you're able to utilize it or check it out here or again sometime or another. Okay, so now I'm going to send you back over to Mr. Riker. I hope that these strategies helped, and we'll see you later. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar families, I hope that those strategies were helpful. I hope that you're able to see what we're doing in class and how it can be applied in the home. If you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, do not hesitate to contact me. It's such an honor to teach your children each and every day. You are the best families in Stafford County. I hope you have a wonderful week.